Mira was that girl. You know the type. Smart, respectful, the kind parents point to and say, "Why can't you be like her?" Then she met Rohit, and everything changed. Not overnight. Slowly, like a phone battery draining. You don't notice until it's at 5%, and you're panicking. This is the story of how Mira loved a boy who didn't love her back. How she gave and gave until there was nothing left. How she lost herself chasing someone who was never running toward her. It began innocently enough. Rohit was in her economics class. Always late. Always sitting at the back. Always on his phone. One day after class, he stopped her near the canteen. "You're Mira, right? The one who always answers questions." She blushed. "Yeah, I guess." "Cool. Can I get your notes? I missed a few classes." She gave him her notes. He smiled. Her heart did a little flip. That was red flag number 1. He didn't ask to borrow, he just took. But she ignored it. Because he was cute. Because he paid attention to her. Because for once, a boy noticed her. They started talking. WhatsApp chats. Late night calls. He'd complain about his life, and she'd listen for hours, nodding along, asking questions, genuinely caring. But when she tried to share her day, he'd cut her off with a quick, okay, and then immediately pivot to something else. "Listen, can we meet tomorrow?" That was red flag number 2. He never really listened, but Mira told herself he was just not good with words, that he was shy, that he showed love differently. Wrong. He didn't show love at all. 3 weeks into talking, Rohit invited her to his hostel room. "Just to watch a movie," he said. "Just to hang out." She went. There was no movie. He kissed her, and she was nervous but excited. This felt like love, right? This was what couples did. Then he started pulling at her clothes. "Rohit, wait." "What? Don't you trust me?" "I do, but if you loved me, you wouldn't hesitate." She froze. That sentence, that guilt, that pressure pressing down on her chest like a weight. She gave in. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't gentle. It was quick and uncomfortable, and when it was over, he rolled over and checked his phone like she wasn't even there. "You can leave now. My roommate is coming back." She walked back to her hostel in a daze, tears streaming down her face, confusion twisting in her chest like a knife. She'd given him her first time, and he'd treated it like a transaction, like ordering food, and dismissing the delivery guy once it arrived. After that, the messages became predictable, like clockwork, like a script he'd memorized. "Come over." Not "how are you?" Not "I miss you." Not "can we talk?" Just "come over." If she said no, if she dared to say she had an assignment due or was tired or just needed space, the manipulation would start. "So you don't want to see me? Guess you don't really care. Fine. Maybe I'll just talk to someone else." Then silence. Cold, punishing silence that made her stomach twist with anxiety. She'd stare at her phone, waiting, panicking, wondering if she'd lost him. So she went. Every time. Her hostel mates started noticing. Priya cornered her one evening near the stairs, arms crossed, eyebrows raised. "Mira, why are you always going to his hostel? Doesn't he ever come here?" "He's busy. It's easier this way." Priya laughed, not a kind laugh. "Busy doing what?" "Failing exams." The other girls giggled behind their hands. Mira forced a smile, mumbled something about needing to leave, and hurried away before the tears came. Rohit didn't just want her body. He wanted her service. "Yar, I'm so tired of hostel food. Can you make something?" So she started cooking. After classes, when she should have been in the library studying, she'd go to the market. She'd buy vegetables with her pocket money her parents sent for books and emergencies, and cook in the shared hostel kitchen while her roommates shot her pitying looks. Rajma chawal, aloo paratha, chole bhature. Whatever he wanted. She'd pack it carefully in containers, walk 20 minutes to his hostel, climb 3 flights of stairs, and hand it to him with a hopeful smile. He'd eat without looking up from his phone, chewing mechanically, not even tasting it. Thanks. You can go now. No appreciation. No compliment. No, this is so good. Or, thank you for doing this. Just dismissal. Like she was staff. On weekends, it got worse. Mira, I have a pile of dirty clothes. Can you take them? And she did. She took his laundry, washed it by hand because the washing machine in her hostel was broken, scrubbed his shirts until her hands turned red and raw, folded them neatly, ironed them even, as if perfect creases could somehow make him love her. Her roommate Anjali found her one Saturday afternoon, hands deep in soapy water, tears mixing with the suds. Mira, are you washing his clothes? He's busy. I don't mind. Anjali stared at her like she was watching someone drown. Busy? He's playing PUBG in his room right now. Are you his girlfriend or his maid? Mira didn't answer because deep down, she was starting to wonder the same thing. And the answer terrified her. Rohit never spent a single rupee on Mira. Not on her birthday. Not on Valentine's Day. Not even on a cup of chai from the campus stall. Instead, he borrowed. Yar, I'm broke. Can you lend me 500 Indian rupees? Then 1,000 Indian rupees. Then 2,000 Indian rupees. The amounts kept climbing and the promises of repayment kept fading. He never paid her back. Not once. Once they went to a restaurant. She dressed up, thinking finally they'd have a proper date. A normal couple experience. The bill came. He stared at it like it was written in a foreign language. Then looked at her. I forgot my wallet. Can you pay? I'll return it tomorrow. He never did. Another time, she got her period. The cramps were so bad, she couldn't stand. She texted him, asking if he could bring her painkillers from the pharmacy. I don't have cash. UPI me and I'll get it. She did. He brought the medicine 20 minutes later, tossed the packet on her bed, without even stepping fully into the room. Here, I have a class. Bye. He didn't ask if she was okay. Didn't ask if the pain was better. Didn't stay even for 5 minutes. Her hostel mate Kavya watched the whole thing from her bed, shaking her head slowly. That's your boyfriend? He acts like a delivery boy who doesn't even want a tip. Mira didn't respond. She just took the medicine and cried into her pillow, wondering why loving someone felt so much like begging. The worst part, the part that slowly killed something inside her, was that Rohit never said sorry. Not when he hurt her feelings. Not when he stood her up. Not when he yelled at her for being too emotional or overthinking everything. Once, he promised to meet her for her birthday. She waited at the canteen for 2 hours, watching couples and friend groups celebrate while she sat alone with a small cake she'd bought herself, candles melting in the heat. He never showed up. When she finally called, voice shaking, trying not to cry, he sighed like she was inconveniencing him. I forgot. Stop being so dramatic about it. No apology. No remorse. Just annoyance that she dared to be hurt. Another time, she saw him at a cafe with another girl. Laughing. Leaning in close. When she'd asked him earlier where he was, he'd said, at the library. She confronted him the next day, hands trembling, heart pounding. He didn't apologize. He got angry at her. Are you stalking me now? You're so insecure, Mira. This is exactly why I can't deal with you sometimes. She's just a friend. Stop being paranoid. Somehow, by the end of that conversation, she was the one apologizing. To him. For catching him in a lie. For having feelings. For existing. One evening, Mira went to Rohit's hostel. She'd made aloo parathas, his favorite. She climbed the stairs, feeling that familiar mix of hope and dread, and found his door half open. Voices inside. Male voices. Laughter. She was about to knock when she heard her name. Bro, I'm telling you. Mira does everything. Cooks. Cleans. Gives me money. Like everything. That was Rohit's voice. She'd recognize it anywhere. Another guy laughed. And what do you give her? Nothing, bro. Just, more laughter. Pretty much free service, yar. She's so desperate it's actually funny. Wait, so she's like your unpaid servant. Basically, she's so easy to manipulate. I just have to go silent for a day. And she comes running back. She's letting me use her. That's on her, not me. The laughter that followed felt like knives. Mira stood there, frozen, the container of parathas slipping from her hands, thudding dully on the floor. Her vision blurred. Her chest felt tight, like someone was squeezing her lungs. She was a joke, a story they told for entertainment, a punchline. She turned and ran. Down the stairs, out of the building, back to her hostel, sobbing so hard she could barely breathe. Mira used to be a topper, first class, consistent. Teachers praised her in front of the whole class. Her parents bragged about her at family functions. She had plans, postgraduate studies, maybe even going abroad. Then her marks started falling. Before Rohit, 85% after Rohit, 62%. She was skipping classes to cook for him, missing assignments because she was too exhausted from late nights at his hostel, sitting in exams with a blank mind because she'd spent the night before crying instead of studying. Her professor, Dr. Iyer, called her to his office after the results were announced. He looked at her with something between disappointment and concern. Mira, what happened? You were one of my best students. I was planning to recommend you for the research program. Now. He trailed off, shaking his head. I'm sorry, sir. I'll do better next semester. Is everything okay? You look different. Tired. Sick even. She nodded quickly, avoiding his eyes. Yes, sir. Everything's fine. But everything wasn't fine. How could she explain? How could she tell him? I'm failing because I'm too busy being someone's unpaid cook, cleaner, therapist, and ATM. She left his office feeling hollow, like she was watching her future slip away and couldn't even move to catch it. Mira stopped recognizing herself. One morning, she looked in the mirror and saw a stranger staring back. Dark circles like bruises under her eyes. Hollow cheeks. Dull, lifeless eyes that used to sparkle when she talked about her dreams. She looked like a ghost. The ghost of the girl she used to be. Her friends noticed. Anjali pulled her aside after class, gripping her shoulders, forcing her to make eye contact. Mira, when was the last time you ate properly? You're disappearing. Priya was less gentle. You've lost so much weight. You look sick. Is this because of that useless boy? Kavya just stared at her sometimes, shaking her head like she was watching a tragedy unfold in slow motion. The whispers in the hostel got louder. Pitying glances. Hushed conversations that stopped when she entered a room. Look at her. She's washing his clothes again. She cooks for him every single day. Does she think he'll marry her? She's so smart in class but so stupid in love. The worst part, she knew they were right. She'd become the cautionary tale. The girl other girls pointed to and whispered, "Don't be like her." Her mother noticed during their weekly video call. Her face crumpled with worry. "Mira, Beta, what's happening to you? You look so different. So thin. So faded." "I'm fine, Ma. Just stressed about exams." But her voice cracked on the word, fine, and her mother's eyes filled with tears. "You're not fine. You look like you're dying inside. Please tell me what's wrong." Mira couldn't. She just shook her head, mumbled something about network issues, and ended the call before the tears came. Mira tried to end it so many times. She'd block his number, delete his photos, sit with Anjali and make declarations. I'm done. This is it. I'm never going back. And she'd mean it. For a day, 2 days, sometimes even a week. But then he'd find a way. A text from a friend's phone. A casual run-in near the canteen that didn't feel casual at all. And he'd say the magic words. I miss you. Just that. Nothing else. No acknowledgement of how he'd treated her. No apology for the hurt. Just, I miss you, and her stupid, foolish heart would crack open like an egg. Hope would rush in like water through a broken dam. Maybe he's changed. Maybe he realizes now. Maybe he actually loves me. He never did. Within hours, sometimes minutes, it was back to the same script. Come over. What's for dinner? Can you lend me 1,000 Indian rupees? She realized something painful during one of these cycles. He didn't miss her. He missed what she did for him. He'd only reach out when he needed something. When he was hungry. When he was broke. When he wanted sex. The silence before his texts wasn't longing. It was just him being satisfied with whatever else or whoever else was giving him what he needed at the moment. He wasn't afraid of losing her, because he knew, deep down, he knew she'd always come back. And she did. Again, and again, and again. She was trapped, not by him, but by her own heart, which kept lying to her, telling her that if she just loved him enough, gave enough, sacrificed enough, he'd finally see her worth. One Tuesday afternoon, her phone buzzed. Come over. I'm hungry. Not, how are you? Not, I've been thinking about you. Not even a basic, hey. Just, come over. I'm hungry. Mira stared at the message. Her thumb hovered over the keyboard. The automatic response was already forming in her mind. Okay, what should I make? When something stopped her, she looked around her room. At the textbooks she hadn't opened in weeks. At the mirror reflecting a girl she barely recognized. At the calendar where she'd circled her mother's birthday and realized with a jolt that she'd forgotten to call. She looked down at her hands, red and raw from washing his clothes, burned from cooking on the hostel stove, and something inside her, something that had been bending and bending and bending for months, finally snapped. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly, like a thread breaking after holding too much weight for too long. She put her phone face down on the table, and she didn't reply. Hours passed. Another message appeared. Hello, are you coming or not? She didn't open it. The next day, why are you ignoring me? Then, you're being childish. Then, fine, I don't need you anyway. She read them all, felt the familiar panic rising, the urge to apologize, to explain, to fix it. But she didn't. She just sat there, breathing, feeling something she hadn't felt in months. Space. And then she blocked him. The first week was strange. No texts demanding she come over. No last-minute requests for food or money. No silent treatment to decode and panic over. Just silence. It felt empty at first, like a room where someone used to live. But slowly, it started feeling different. Lighter, like she'd been holding her breath underwater for months, and finally came up for air. She didn't cook, didn't clean anyone's clothes but her own, didn't check her phone every 5 minutes. She just existed. Her hostel mates noticed. Anjali sat next to her in the common room one evening, studying side by side like they used to. Mira, you look different. Different how? I don't know. Like you're actually here. Like you're back. Mira smiled. A real smile. The first one in months that didn't feel like a mask. Maybe I am. 3 months later. It was a normal Tuesday. Mira was walking across campus with Anjali, laughing about something stupid, actually laughing when she saw him. Rohit, he was near the canteen, surrounded by his usual group of friends. Same careless posture, same phone in hand, same boy who'd never really seen her at all. He looked up. Their eyes met. For a second, time seemed to pause. She waited for it. The racing heart, the shortness of breath, the flood of memories and hurt and longing. But nothing came. No love. No anger. No pain. Just nothing. She looked at him the way you'd look at a stranger. Someone you passed once and forgot immediately after. He looked away first. Mira adjusted the strap of her bag and kept walking. Past him. Past that chapter. Past the girl who cooked and cleaned and begged for crumbs from someone who was already full. She didn't look back. Anjali squeezed her arm. You okay? Mira took a breath. Yeah, I'm okay. And for the first time in a very long time, she meant it. Somewhere, in that quiet moment, Mira realized something. She hadn't lost herself chasing him. She'd found herself the moment she stopped.